A nice hot cup of coffee from Cigarettes After Sex. That's Nothing's Gonna Hurt You, Baby. Only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Good morning, Vaqueros. It's DJ Doc V. You're tuned in to Office Hours on Vaquero Radio. Yeah, that's okay. You can be excited about that. That's a good thing. Um, Boy, what a great episode of the Feminist Hour. That was really good. Did you hear that? You heard them, right? They do a good job over there. Yeah, and what's some DJ question marks over there with him, right? Yeah, yeah. Hey, make sure you're tuning in. If you're missing out, you're missing a great show from a couple of members of the UTRGV family. The Feminist Hour's got one of the librarians from over in Brownsville and one of the faculty members in sociology. You should check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. It starts at 9. They talk about issues that relate to feminism and such. So make sure you tune into that, as well as tuning into Office Hours. Thank you so much for being in here today. It is 80 degrees in beautiful Edinburgh in the UTRGV campus, in the studios here. So it's hot. It's always hot. It goes with the territory here in the South Texas, right? So got some great music lined up for you today, including a double shot of AC/DC with a special request for our assistant station manager, Jan, one of my partners in crime here at the radio station. But instead of just one ACD, we're going to do a double shot of ACDC. That's what I say, Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to play a song by Kiss a little bit later. If you haven't seen it, it's on Hulu. Am I advertising? Maybe I shouldn't be advertising. It's on Hulu, Kiss Story. It's got a 2-episode, like a documentary about Kiss's story. I was a huge Kiss fan growing up. I remember going over to my buddy Michael's house when I was in grade school. His brother had all the Kiss records, and we would sit down for hours and listen to Kiss songs. Oh my God, it was so good. I still have some Kiss vinyl in my collection.
What?
Yeah, man. I've got the Alive records. I've got double platinum. I've got one or two of the solo records. Really good. So it brought me right back to some nostalgia. To see the Kiss Story on Hulu. So check it out if you can. It's too bad they couldn't get Peter Criss and Ace Frehley to back the documentary. There's some snippets of them in there, but they don't play a big role in this particular documentary. And apparently they disagree with some of the history provided by Gene and Paul in this new. Yeah, well, bands. You know how it is with creative people. Everybody's all over the place, and feelings get hurt, and they had that magic in a bottle when they first started, and hugely influential in my musical development as a young one. But great to see the story and how they evolved from starting out and then when they really made it big. But it's got good and bad parts. There's a part when they said they would go out after their peak times and seats would be empty.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. So really great. I encourage you to check it out. But anyway, enough of me yapping. Let's get back to the music. Speaking of nostalgia, here's a song originally done by The Cure, but it's a cover, and it's Ben Folds doing In Between Days. You're only going to hear this stuff on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. That's a little XTC here on Vaquero Radio with Dear God. Before that, you heard the Yeah Yeah Yeahs with Maps, and we started that set off with Ben Folds doing a cover of The Cure's In Between Days. Great little set there. Here's an interesting little factoid. That Yeah Yeah Yeahs song, Maps, you know where I first heard that?
Where?
On Guitar Hero for PS2. Yeah, no. It was on there, and I was like, oh, this is a good song. And then I'm like, oh, we have it at the station. I'm gonna play that. So, when you remember Guitar Hero, right? It's what, and
like the beginning of the song, I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I was first told about this game, I play a little regular guitar myself, so and someone told me about it. I'm like, yeah, I don't get why that would be fun. I mean, if you want to play guitar, pick up a regular guitar and do it. And I was really dubious about the whole thing, and so I found myself in a Best Buy, which it was not surprising. You find me there every once in a while, and they had it set up on one of their PlayStations in there. And I said, "Oh, let me give this a try." 45 minutes later, I had employees like physically trying to remove me from the store, and other little kids looking at me like, "Dude, let me hit my turn." I'm exaggerating a little bit, but oh man, it's such a fun game. I miss it. And then Rock Band came out, and maybe it was on Rock Band instead of Guitar Hero. I forget. Anyway, yeah. So that's why I first heard that song. But I still have my Guitar Hero
Really?
and what do I have? I have a PlayStation 4, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not the new one. The 5 is the newest one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
Are you a real gamer? Sir?
Yeah, I love games. I'm a huge gamer. If I'm not teaching and I'm not working and stuff. These days I've been playing. I've been playing Eve Online Spaceships for 17 years, but that's an online role-playing game. And then I play Anno 1800. I've been playing a lot of that lately. And that's I like the builder games. I can't do the shooters. I cannot do them. I don't have. I get freaked out. They're so real. Call of Duty, Battlefield. I can't aim. I don't know what it is. I need work on that. Need to work on that. Anyway, back to the music. Got some great tunes coming up here, including this one from the band Yes, who's going to be up in San Antonio a little bit later this year. Yeah, they're doing the whole Closer to the Edge album. But this is Long Distance Runaround from Yes, only on Vaquero Radio. Yow! Oh, good. Oh, man, that's good stuff. Oh, my goodness. I forgot how good they are. Wow. There's Kiss with Strutter, only on Vaquero Radio. Good morning, Vaqueros. It's 10:33 and 83 degrees in Edinburgh on the beautiful UTRGV campus. We are in the studio, and it's office hours. I'm DJ Doc V. Thanks for tuning in. That was Kiss with Strutter from their debut record. Oh, my goodness. That's such a good one. Before that, you heard U2 with The Electric Co. And we started that one off with Yes, but with Long Distance Runaround. As we always do on office hours, I've got the this day in history. And let's see here. Here's a really fun one. Okay. On September 23rd, 1875, Billy the Kid is arrested for the first time. After stealing a basket of laundry, he later broke out of jail, roamed the American West, eventually earning a reputation as an outlaw and murderer, and a rap sheet that allegedly included 21 murders. The exact details of Billy the Kid's birth are unknown other than his name, William Henry McCarty. He was probably born sometime between 1859 and 1861 in either Indiana or New York. There's very different, right? Indiana, New York. As a child, he had no relationship with his father, but they moved around with living in Indiana, Kansas, Colorado, and Silver City, New Mexico. His mother died in 1874, and Billy the Kid, who went by a variety of names throughout his life, including Kid Antrim and William Bonney, turned to crime soon afterwards. He did a stint as a horse thief in Arizona before going back to New Mexico, where he hooked up with a gang of gunslingers and cattle rustlers involved in the notorious Lincoln County War between rival rancher and merchant factions in Lincoln County in 1878. If you saw the movie Young Guns, right, Billy the Kid is a central character. So the rival ranchers, the war between the ranchers, was at least based somewhat in fact. About with Billy the Kid there. He didn't live very long, though. Sheriff Pat Garrett caught up with Billy the Kid at Fort Sumner, New Mexico on July 14th in 1881 and fatally shot him. So Billy the Kid first arrested on this date back in 1875. Also on this day, let's see here. Lewis and Clark returned to St. Louis. Amid much public excitement, American explorers Meriwether Lewis and William Clark returned to St. Louis, Missouri, from the first recorded overland journey from the Mississippi River to the Pacific coast and back. The Lewis and Clark expedition to the American West. Also, on this day in 1846, the planet Neptune is discovered by German astronomer Johann Gottfried Galle. At the Berlin Observatory. Neptune, generally the eighth planet from the Sun, was first postulated by the French astronomer Urbain Jean-Joseph Leverrier, who calculated the approximate location of the planet. Planet Neptune. Let's see, what else happened today in history? How about a 2-month manhunt for a murdering writer comes to an end in 1981. Jack Henry Abbott is captured in the oil fields of Louisiana after a 2-month-long manhunt that began when he killed Richard Aden at the Billabong restaurant in New York City on July 18th. Also, on this day in 1779, John Paul Jones wins in English waters. During the American Revolution, the U.S. ship Bonhomme Richard, commanded by John Paul Jones, wins a hard-fought engagement against the British ships of war Serapis and Countess of Scarborough off the eastern coast of New England. So that was during the Revolutionary War. That's this day in history. We do that every week here on Office Hours. And at closer to 50 minutes after the hour, I got a poem picked out for you from the Gallery Magazine edition of 2018. So we're going to go back a few years for our poetry, I guess what do we call it? Poetry Corner, Poetry Moment, Poetry, whatever you want to call it. We'll read another poem for you on that. But as requested, let's play some AC/DC. We've got a double shot coming at you. First one here is Rock and Roll Train, only on Vaquero Radio. This one heads out to Jan. Also, a quick shout out to Yun Wen, who's listening to us from her office. Yeah, man, she's rocking and rolling with us this morning. So shout out to her. And here's AC/DC with Rock and Roll Train, only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Hey, it's Ann and Nancy Wilson. They're the sisters that make up Heart, and that one's called Kick It Out, only on Vaquero Radio. Before then, you heard a double shot of AC/DC. We started it off with Rock and Roll Train, and then went into Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap, from album of same name. Good morning, Vaqueros. DJ Doc V with you here for the next 10 minutes or so. We've got the poetry coming up here in just a few minutes. But make sure you're listening to all the shows we have on Vaquero Radio, including Moonlit Vibes, which is on Thursdays at 3:30. We've got, what else is going to, Vibe O'Clock on Mondays. And also make sure you listen, you want to be informed, listen to our 2:30 p.m. Monday newscast, usually anchored by our station manager, Trey, and Jan, and our social media person, Amita, gets in there. I mean, it's all hands on deck for Vaquero News on Monday afternoon at 2:30. So make sure you're tuning in there and get the information that you need here in the Rio Grande Valley. Right now, back to the music. Before we do our poem, here's Jackson Browne with The Pretender, only on Vaquero Radio. There's a little Jackson Browne for you on Vaquero Radio with The Pretender, one of my favorites of all time. I appreciate that. I want to make sure we had time to do our poem. I don't want to miss that. Thanks for listening to Office Hours, as we do every Friday. I got a poem picked out for you from the 2018 edition of Gallery Magazine, another great production of UTRGV Student Media. It's a poem called Letters by Christopher Castillo. I thought I could cure my writer's block with isolation, but I'm not alone. I still feel vibrations. Unlike my dad in solitary 23/7, using his hour of freedom to send out a dove like Noah, his letters reach me, but I am not drowning. I am the mountaintop. Visible weeks go by. I apologize. I can't put the right words to paper. The dove stays nested in the back of my mind, but my father stays behind, in an ark made of cinder blocks and cement. In my hand, too scared to send, a freshly plucked olive leaf. That's a poem called Letters by Christopher Castillo, only on Vaquero Radio and only on Office Hours. You can hear that poem. Thanks for tuning in, Vaqueros. Let's take you out with a little bit of Elvis from that new Baz Luhrmann movie. So it's an Elvis song, but it's done by Austin Butler. Thanks for tuning in, Vaqueros. We'll see you next week. Make sure that you're doing all you can to get out and see UTRGV Athletics in action. But right now, here's Trouble by Austin Butler from the Elvis movie soundtrack.